This is where everyone trips up. Now listen to me. Just because you don't care about it doesn't make it not valid. I've never been able to share this story until this day. I hope my story encourages others to speak about their experiences with Sol Campbell. And with a level of pride I've never experienced in my life, he uttered the words, "Look, kids, Gatto."
Look, it's Gatto. That is wonderful.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to James. I know it's the wrong channel. Fuck. It's been a long week. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Jaffin. James and Flav for now. My name's James. This is Flav. Straight off with a comment. Yeti says, my favourite thing about the intro music is how it's simultaneously bombastic and triumphant, as it is mournful and sorrowful.
Yeah,
works for all occasions and events.
Who did it? Where did it come from?
I just found it on, I think, Epidemic Sound.
Oh, right. It's just you just nicked it off there.
Yeah, I just thought it was funny.
It is.
And people hate it for a bit, but it's here to stay now. People seem to enjoy it.
You know, if you gave people what they wanted, they'd want faster horses rather than cars or something.
Exactly. Great point. Welcome back to the podcast. Dry week, Flav.
Dry week. Yeah. Well, there's a fair bit going on. Football-wise.
Big games for England. Andorra.
Do you know? Honestly, if you hadn't told me, if you hadn't shown me, I genuinely did. I don't know when England are playing, and I don't know who they're playing against.
Me neither, because I actually didn't know, because I was like, I don't need to know. We're fine. We're absolutely fine. I have no concerns about England.
That's what I'm saying, is that there's no jeopardy, is there? So there's no interest. Football's all about risk. How great is this going to feel when we win? Because there's a good chance we're going to lose at like the final. So there's something on it. But these games, these qualifying games, are a complete waste of time. I genuinely, and I know it's like elite.
That's not true, is it? Because if you want a competition, you can't just let the top teams be in it.
No, you can. You can absolutely let
absolutely ridiculous.
No, it isn't. It's
madness.
No, it's not. It's not. You let all of the top tier teams in every season, every competition, because the competition is better for them teams being in it.
Yeah. And
then just let all of the lesser nations have to qualify against each other, but at least they're playing at a level that they can compete at. Do you know what I mean? It's like they're in a competition. We don't have to have international breaks every 2 weeks. Our domestic game benefits for it. You're not distracted by England. You're not. The players are not doing. The club players are not coming together and whispering in each other's ears every 2 minutes. So you just get rid of it, the qualifying. Get rid of the Nations League. That's a pile of shit as well. And just have the competitions where the main biggest countries in the world or in Europe are in automatically, and then you give the next 14 places to whoever qualifies out of the groups. I think that's a great idea.
I think you're an idiot. I think that's stupid. I think you're trying to wind me up, and you know this is one of my trigger points. And I'm concerned about this podcast today, because we've got to talk about Newcastle at some point, and it's a similar thing. Do you know what's happening here? You're warming to a Super League. You're warming to a Super League.
No.
Because our beloved patrons, and if you would like to become a patron, it costs the same as a pint. So less than a pint.
£4.
Exactly. So if you want to become a patron, essentially buy us a pint. We'll make you some podcasts. Get yourselves involved. Become a moist slug. And our beloved patrons are in the chat right now. And Ollie he asks, define a lesser nation, Flav. Off you go.
Well, those produce shitter football teams.
Right.
So Ireland would be a lesser nation. Scotland would be a lesser nation. Wales would be a lesser nation.
Norway. Norway's in lesser nation, is it? Norway
might not be, because they got Haaland.
Right, because so hang on a minute. So how this, because Norway I think they made the World Cup in 94, 98. Yeah. Apart from that, haven't touched a tournament really, right? So essentially a lesser nation, I would imagine, right? Yeah. So now that they've got some of the best players in the world, you want to make it kind of impossible or harder for them to make it through.
They've
got to jump hoops. They've got to jump hoops, have they? Ridiculous.
Yeah, they should have been better in the past. They should have done more. Look, Jim, this isn't. We're not living in this wonderful world where everything's equal. It's not. It's just not that way, unfortunately, James. And I know you'd like it to be that way, and that's the way you look at football. It's not. You're naive.
Yeah, but it's a sport, isn't it? It's a sport. And if it's a competition, then there has to be an quality to it. The quality to it is the fact that they are nations. They are nations, and because they're nations, they get to play on an equal playing field. It's called sport.
Give them a chance. Give them a chance. And not put them in with teams they have no chance against. And I'm not talking about Norway. I'm talking about Andorra. I'm talking about all
Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland,
absolutely.
Right. Who went to a tournament a couple of years ago?
Once. Yeah. That was nice for them, wasn't it? What happened? Dumped.
They got to the second. They made it through the group.
They can get it. Who cares, James? All right. They might have made it through the group one time, right? But they would be better served if they're in a qualifying stage against teams that they can actually compete against regularly every single game, and then we don't have to get bothered by these games. Like we've got a 2-week gap now against 3 teams that I didn't even know who we were playing against. And you said in your own
how
words,
fucking
you're
entitled
not
are
bothered,
you?
James.
This is mad,
James. You said you didn't even know, and you're a big fan of England.
I'm not saying you're. See, this is where everyone trips up. This is where everyone trips up. This is where everyone trips up. Now listen to me. Just because you don't care about it doesn't make it not valid, right? This is the thing. This is what you lot seem to think, and you know who I'm talking about. Well, teams that used to be. See, this is what's hilarious. You're not even a top 6 side anymore. But you still have the entitlement. Matter. You still have the entitlement of what's valid is what I care about. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
It's nothing to do with Tottenham anyway. I'm not talking about that. I'm not saying don't put Tottenham in the League Cup. Am I? I am saying that. I'm saying that these qualifying games that disrupt the domestic campaigns, that have no value because we walk through every single one of the teams.
Right.
No one watches. No one knows about. So that Andorra get to play England once every 4 years.
But it's been disrupting. It's been disrupting football for I nearly said hundreds of years.
It's gone on decades. For too long. It's gone on for too long. Right. It's time for change.
Okay.
I'm not saying. Look, I'm not saying. I'm just saying the qualifiers are a boring waste of everybody's time. That's all I'm saying, and that was my solution to it.
But this is what I don't understand. Why do you need a solution to it? Why don't you just take a week off?
Because people, the world moves forward by people like me who come up with solutions to everyone's problems. If no one bothered finding ways to solve these problems and just took a week off, we'd still be eating beans off some sort of field.
We'd be in some
drinking
sort of
muddy water, James.
Yeah. It's been going on for decades. I'm going to tuck into this water, this muddy water. But it's brown. Don't worry about it.
It's boring, James. I don't want to watch it. I wish it didn't happen. That was my solution.
Okay. I just don't really understand why you need a solution.
Because it makes things better for everybody.
But you're the same person who in 3 weeks' time are going, God, I need a break. I'm sick of talking about
I love the break. I love the break.
Exactly. So what are you on about?
I'm thinking about you, James. I'm thinking about the people out there. I like the break, but this is me being selfless right now.
Okay. Interesting. Explosive stuff. We will talk about.
And I'm not a fan of the Super League, by the way.
Good to know. Just to be clear.
Can I?
Do you know the hypocrisy that there is with like the certain comments that are made?
I'm coming back.
Certain comments that are made in we're not doing this. We're not going down this Jamie O'Hara clickbait thing. I'm not doing it. But there are comments that are made that, like, if you go back to the outrage of people when it was the Super League, and then you kind of fast forward to now, and then you hear some of the comments that people make, it is mind-blowingly hypocritical.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm not suggesting that what I've just said isn't in any way similar.
Okay. Daniel Madic says, "Man of the people and lover of the break." Flav Bateman.
So I saw this tweet, Jim, and do you remember like we was just talking about like the hierarchy of football and how it should never be undone or disrupted, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was only sort of joking. Like, I just get bored at international breaks, but obviously it's a competition, and that's the most important thing, James. Anyway, so I was just minding my own business, reading Twitter, and I saw this tweet, and it was, I won't read out the guy's name, but it says, whether you support Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, or Arsenal, the decline of Barcelona is horrible to see. Barcelona have gone from dominating Europe and winning every trophy under the sun to struggling financially and being such a poorly run club. And I responded with this. Barcelona are a club that did everything it could while holding hands with Real Madrid to reduce competition in La Liga. The fact that this is happening to them is football poetry. It's in keeping with the ebb and flow of the beautiful game, and it's the opposite of horrible.
Here.
Do you know what I mean? It's fucking great seeing this happen to Barcelona. I wish it was happening to Real Madrid as well.
Do you know what I find weird about the fact that, like, like in general life, people that are rich, we don't really like them, do we?
No, not really.
But for some reason, when it comes to like football, it's like there's just such a free pass with the rich people.
Yeah, no, you're right. They get like because that's all you hear on Sky Sports and La Liga channels. And when we talk about Barcelona, we evangelicize them, if that's a word. But we put them up on this pedestal, the great Real Madrid, the great Barcelona, and it's almost we remove the competition. It's like people who say, I'd love to see Messi join the Premier League. Why would you want that? If you have a team that's in the tournament, in the league, what good could come from having Messi in it? Who would want to play Messi? So it's just, sometimes these things, like, people become adoring of a player or a club, and it's different from what is, or I would consider to be, authentic about the game. And that's rivalry. That's rivalry. That's a competition. That's going up against someone you really want to be. And the beautiful game is in that rivalry. That's what I believe. All the games that we talk about, the greatest games have happened because there was a rivalry or some narrative that existed between them. And it isn't just about celebrating football. I don't celebrate football. I don't celebrate Ronaldo or Messi. And I'm sure Sky Sports, to come on to the point, will be creaming themselves, and they should, because it's a great story for them. And so, say great, I don't necessarily mean positive, but I mean it's something to talk about, and it's full of interesting sort of yarns and twists and turns. But its takeover at Newcastle is it's crazy, because they're worth, the guys that are taking over Newcastle are worth 260 billion. And the guys that own Manchester City, it's the guys that own Manchester City are worth 23 billion. So they're a lot richer. So yeah, it's. I mean, we could talk about the ethical issues here and the fact that Saudi Arabia have a horrendous human rights record, and the way they view women, and there's lots of issues with Saudi Arabia. But for Newcastle fans, who, like most football fans, don't really give a shit about that stuff, this is fucking glory for them, isn't it? It's gold. I mean, what does it mean for the Premier League? Like, I know they've still got to play into financial fair play to a certain extent, but they're going to get a couple of slaps on the wrist before anything bad happens. So that's maybe 2 or 3 years of significant building for Newcastle. What do you think it means for the league, James?
I think that's the thing that sort of, as the fan of the team that is, needs a miracle to over 15 years to get to a position where you could be competitive with these guys, like, and not put a foot wrong along that road, and then you will still get pillaged the season after you have a go.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking, just because it's like, it's another one, like. But and Newcastle fans, I hope, will understand that feeling, just because, like, there's no doubt that people understand how difficult it has been for Newcastle fans and what they've been through, in terms of how, the
certainly more
apathy.
difficult than most fans in the Premier League. They've had to deal with a lot more than other clubs who seem to be very angry about what's going on at their club.
Yeah.
Newcastle fans have a legitimate quarrel with their club, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And the sort of the treading of water, or just the lack of kind of at least endeavour to try and be the best that they can be, which is all that you're really after. But what's crazy is to kind of go from that to then be given this, which is like a different kind of, I guess, moral doping. Like the money is.
It's not great.
It just highlights a bit. Like I think we can put. I want to talk about on the pitch, because I think like the stuff on the side, I think we're aware of it. My not my biggest problem, but like a problem when it comes to the sort of equality of sport is that these clubs are turning into aliens. They're like literally they're incomparable to Rotherham. A team that was in the Championship last year, or Wickham, it's
But that's
unbelievable,
where real football is, isn't it?
And this is the problem, is that the Super League will happen, because it's like with the Champions League when they kind of say that certain teams or teams in groups are irrelevant. They're not irrelevant. They've been made irrelevant because of how outrageous the sort of disparity in terms of the money has been, and that comes from different ways, right? So that comes from Premier League and the money from that. It comes from merchandise. It comes from a million things that clubs do themselves, and that's fine. But this is like when you say that amount of money, what was it? Over 200 billion? Did you say
260 billion? It's inconceivable amount.
It's inconceivable, and it's like. It's unlimited money. It's completely unlimited money.
Yeah.
So it then washes away possibility in a lot of senses for that league, and it's so dangerous because, well, it's not dangerous. It morphs the sport to something else. So a Super League will happen, and Newcastle will be in it, not because of history or all that shite, and not down to merit, down to money, and that's just heartbreaking to me.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's exactly the same argument about what was happening with the Super League previously, but I don't think you'll see a breakaway league, but I feel because there will be a similar opposition, and that opposition won't be hit there now, because you'll see a slowly drip-fed version of the Super League that will be a domestic league, right? So we won't disrupt the football pyramid, but we will, for all intents and purposes, because anybody in the Premier League that wants to be able to compete will need a vastly rich owner, and it'll be a case of, and then maybe Championship clubs that get bought. That this happens to, and they'll turn into one of these super clubs, and it essentially it'll be a battle, and it is already to a certain extent, but it'll be a battle about who can spend the most amount of money, and who's the best at getting around financial fair play, and it'll be less about. It's
an arms race, isn't it? It's becoming an arms race.
Yeah,
and do you know
every team in the Premier League will need one of these benefactors. Will need the sugar daddy in order to compete.
Yeah,
and people Daniel Levy should be worried right now. Arsenal should be worried. Cronkies should be worried. Fans of their football clubs should be worried, because what do we need to become in order to compete? I think Spurs are in a better position because we know what it's like not to win, so nothing will change for us. But Arsenal fans really expect to win, so it's going to be harder for them. But you've got Newcastle, and it's not. There ain't a shortage of fucking billionaires out there. Do you know what I mean? And do you know what else? There are much more attractive propositions than Arsenal and Tottenham for one of these benefactors.
Yeah, for sure. And I come back to, it's about competition. Like it's always about competition. And if you look at the football pyramid, there's a great example there right in front of your eyes. You look at the amount of teams that come up from the Championship and then get laughed at in the Premier League because, oh, they're little old Norwich, and oh, look at you, you're pathetic, you're a disgrace, all this stuff. What? Because they got promoted and then just didn't have like the outrageous funds to kind of keep it going. So that's the Championship, right? League One to the Championship, it's a bit easier to stay up, but it's still like the gap is growing. Like they don't have the same kind of funds. The Wickhams, the Rotherhams, the Barnsleys, the Blackpool made their way up this year, Peterborough. But then if you get to League Two and the National League, teams that come up from the National League very, very, very rarely get relegated straight away.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is because the money between the teams in League Two and the money in the teams in the National League, obviously there is a difference, but it's not a huge, huge difference, which allows people to be competitive. And this is the problem. It's getting stretched and stretched and stretched and stretched. So that Norwich, who are in the same league as Man City and Newcastle, they're different species.
Yeah.
So then you lose then it's not competition.
But this is a result. This didn't happen overnight. This is a result of decades of commercialization and syndication of the sport.
Do you know what's allowed? Sorry to cut you off. Do you know what allows it to survive, for this to continue and people to get away with it, is the fact that it's a low scoring sport.
Yeah.
If this was basketball, like imagine if this was basketball, like the amount of points that a Man City would be scoring in comparison, it would be like those Olympics where the American team just walks it, and that is not interesting.
But football fans like it that way, James. They like it that way.
Certain football fans like it that way.
Yeah, but I think there's a lot of them out there who do. They like I said, that they're evangelical about super clubs and super players, and they like it. They like the status quo. They like playing as Barcelona on FIFA. They like, they like the fact that Ronaldo is. They'll follow Ronaldo from Real Madrid to Juventus to Man United because that's the way they like to follow the football club. And I'm not suggesting it's all anyone outside of England follows football like that. That is happening here as well. There are kids growing up watching more football on FIFA than they do in real life. And that makes their relationship with the game completely different. And they don't care. They're going to love a lot of these people are going to absolutely love the fact that these world-class players are going to be ending up at Newcastle where they weren't before. It's fantastic novelty for them. They'd be interested. And there's another team on FIFA they can play with.
Do you know what? It's funny because there's I think at an earlier stage, this has always happened where sugar daddies come in and spend money. Think of Jack Walker, right at the start of the Premier League era. They basically just ploughed money into Blackburn and allowed them to be champions of England. So it's been going on for a really long time. I think maybe the point now is just the fact that it's gone to just a different stratosphere.
Yeah,
that's the really scary thing here.
Yeah. And the people that are buying them are not. There's a reason. There's a reason why super rich people are interested in owning sports franchises or football clubs, and often it's not about the sport at all, but they end up on benefiting the sport and being held up as a great thing like Abramovich is. And the thing is I remember when Abramovich took over and gave Chelsea, and I was like, the way I reconciled it back then was, well, it's not going to last forever, is it? He's going to get bored, and then they're going to have all these high wages. Someone will come in, won't be able to pay, and the club will fall apart, right? That's what I was wishing for. But there's no interest in them. They don't need more money. They need public. They need to be a public person. They need to be seen in public. They need to have a persona. They need to have a status. And that's what's important to them. Money isn't. It doesn't mean anything. These guys who have 260 billion, they couldn't spend that in their lifetime. It'd be impossible for them to spend that money. So it isn't about balancing the books, is it? They come into Newcastle to
do something.
To do something that actually gives them something, right? That's why you get super rich people doing fucked up things in clubs. right? Because the money doesn't give them that anymore, so they have to go to do not weird stuff. I'm not kink shaming. Whatever you do, whatever you want, you're into whatever you want. But you get people that have everything that need to up the ante in order to feel something, right? And that's what these guys are doing. What should we do? Well, this equivalent to.
I knew this was coming. What is so? Go on then. What is the equivalent of this? These guys buying.
Yeah, these guys buying Newcastle. It's like like these lads or these people, these old gentlemen that they end up like in those leather rubber suits with a breathing restriction mask, being beaten up by little people. That's essentially that's the equivalent. They need to do something. They want to be seen as gods, as givers of good, as they want to be. I'm trying to find a word. I can't find it, but they want to be worshipped. It's like a church, and by giving these churchgoers who have been denied salvation and actually have been chastised for so long everything they want, they're going to see you like a god. If football is a religion, then these guys are coming in like some sort of deity and giving their disciples everything they want, and they'll be seen as such. They don't need money; they just want to be worshipped, and that's a scary thing for everybody else because they'll spend the money to get it.
Just because we may never speak his name again. GG, Mike Ashley. GG. Didn't he? I mean, he stuck to his guns. He's got an absolute massive fan. GG, Sam. Well done.
But he's nothing if not a good businessman. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's. I remember the days when he would be literally in the stands with the fans drinking beer.
Yeah, well, they all do that, don't they, for a bit, and then they go, "What you do? What you're not happy with one of my ideas? Hang on a minute, I'm spending all the money here. Right, I'm going over here. I'm going to be quiet."
Steve Bruce has got to be worried, though, isn't he? He's got to be worried.
He obviously he's heard the news and he's gone,
"Oh no,"
or maybe he's, "Oh no." Yeah, I wonder if he's. I'd love to know the truth. I wonder if he might, because he's either. There's two ways, right? He's either walking into the living room and to see his wife when he's got the news, and he's either going, "They've been taken over. Yeah. They're going to pay me off. They're going to pay me off properly. Oh, thank God! Like it's over, love. It's over." Not. And she's like bursting into tears. Like, it's over. It's over. Or he's like, or there is some. I honestly can't believe that he still wants that job. Surely he just wants the payoff. It's not enjoyable for him. Surely. What
now? Look, you're right. There's two schools of thought. One is like, I'm a dead man walking. That's the truth. He is a dead man walking. If they take over, he will last.
Well, that's it. I was going to ask that. Like, so when
one transfer window.
But do they just go on day one? Do they go, Steve? I mean,
no, they won't.
We're looking to buy. No, because he. I mean, I guess that's the thing he could do is like. And hit a joy. If Bruce goes, do you know what the first two names I thought of, and Bruce will go. Oh, he'll go, and he'll manage again elsewhere in the Championship. If he goes, the two names that popped into my head were Conte and Rafa Benitez. And the more I thought about it, it's actually like the smart thing would be to go back to Rafa Benitez because he could deal with the squad now. But he could also deal with a squad that's far, far better, right? But would he walk away from Everton? And because he's got the line of like, it's Newcastle, unfinished business. I love the club. I couldn't say no. But Everton fans would be so annoyed, wouldn't they?
Well, look, there's right. There's a couple of things here. Steve Bruce will be given one transfer window, and as soon as it starts to not look right, they'll just sack him.
I don't think he'd get to January.
Okay, but that the same thing happened with Mark Hughes, right? He got 6 months and then they sacked him at City, right? Do you remember he was the manager at the time, right? But you're right. Like, regardless whether he lasts a month or 6 months, he's not going to be there in the long term. So Steve Bruce's time is done. And you said Benitez would be a sensible footballing decision, but that's not what these guys are coming in for. They're not going to come in and be sensible. Antonio Conte is exactly who they would go for because he has that level of like bringing them in. Imagine how the Newcastle fans are not as much as they love Benitez. The reaction to Conte coming in and with it, the money's coming in as well. Like they would be it'd be an incredible thing for them, lot. And it just fits. It just fits, and he's a free transfer. And yeah, Benitez would be an absolute snake if he.
Yeah.
Do you know
what's the if they're there just to like make Newcastle fans' dreams come true, and it is unlimited funds, and with unlimited funds comes success, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Then surely there's only one man for the job. You've got to bring back Keegan, haven't you? Got to.
Give it Keegan.
Give it Keegan to the end of the season. See where he gets on.
Keegan, is he? I'm not even sure he's alive. Is he alive?
Pretty sure he's alive.
I don't know. I haven't heard of him in such a long time. I mean,
imagine that Keegan back there going, I'm gonna sign. I'm signing David Ginola, and then all the noise from the crowd goes, what?
I would love it if they just started to disrupt. The first thing they did was to start disrupt Man City, saying that we want Pep, and we're going to do everything we can to get Pep Guardiola, and we're going to give him any money he wants. He can bring in any player he wants, anyone. We want Pep Guardiola. First statement comes in, and I'd be like, all right, I like these guys. Pep doesn't have a choice. He's coming.
Yeah,
that's the first thing they say. And Pep Guardiola's going, well, I mean, yeah, and in Pep said, he's going, this is what I need. I need the little club to complete the set.
All right, yeah.
This is
no, but it's not. It's the little club on steroids, isn't it?
No, I know.
Rob's just said if he snaked Everton, if Benitez snakes Everton like that after like 4 months in the gig, is that the greatest snaking of all time? Like his standing amongst Liverpool fans, it's like it's just the most unbelievable heel turn. Right? You're going, oh my god. Maybe he knew this was happening the whole time, and he was going to go there, prove that he actually would it's highly likely that I'd be a success here, and then he'd just go, I'm off. That would be Liverpool fans just love him for that, wouldn't they?
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't owe them anything other than to honour his contract on that level. I think Everton fans shouldn't be too annoyed. Because remember what they did to Marco Silva, the exact same thing. So,
true.
It was 11 games into his Watford tenureship, and they just went, "You look quite good. Can we have you?" And he went, "Yeah." So they've done it in the past. So I mean, it would be probably a fair thing for them to have to deal with. But there's a good question here from McSlash where he says, if Conte is going to take the Newcastle job, he'd want to change 10 of the starting 11 players. I would say you want to change all 11. Who's the one? Willock. Who's
St. Maximin, but chuck him on the bench, shouldn't you? Just bring him up for the last 20 minutes. You need something.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. Think of the Jacob Murphys of this world. Think of the Lascelles.
Who's Jacob Murphy?
Exactly.
Is he
interesting
defender?
times?
It sounds like a defender.
He's a sort of right wing back. I think I've got his name right.
Is he any good?
I mean, he's not with the new regime. I don't think he would last. Let's put it that way. He's all right, steady enough. I mean, it's a championship squad they've got at the moment. Right. That's a lot of football chat. Let's just calm that down. Let's get to some quotes of the pod. Tyler Norton. Buffet talk does resume. It will not die. But maybe this week will make us think differently. Stick around. Tyler Norton, quote the pod. He's done the old pencil bum gag and it's gone wrong.
What was that again? Oh, that Van der Beek on.
Yes. And so we asked, what has Donny done to Ollie? And we've got some answers to that as well. So we'll be revealing some of the rumours that are circulating of what has Donny done to Ollie? Another quote of the pod, Sam Toomer. I know you love sausages, but 3 is a lot.
Can't remember what that was.
Buffet talk, wasn't it? Comments of the week. Renewed RS. Every club is in transition all the time. If it's going well, you're not in transition. If it's going badly, you're in transition. That's a quote, direct quote of you, Flav. Flav, unironically, is the wisest philosopher in the footballing YouTube community. 57 likes on that.
True, but I'm not a part of the YouTube community, am I?
Yeah,
and YouTube channel.
And it's not unironically. He's fully aware. Jason, one of my favourite negative phrases after games is the manager doesn't know starting 11.
Yeah, it's such a boring, useless cliche. That is a great shout.
Yeah, I get a bit annoyed.
He don't know his best side. He don't know his best side, Jim.
Yeah. What annoys me about those kind of things is like when people say it and they expect you to be enlightened by that. Like I do this, don't I? I go, okay. Okay. You said something really obvious there. Okay. Starting. Yeah, I do it all the time when I'm just watching TV and people say something really, really basic. Generally, when I'm watching Sky Sports News. Red Vlad. Oh, yeah.
Can I just expand on that just a second?
Please do.
So, you know when things are not going right at your football club and you're saying, he doesn't know his best team. It's clear. It's clear to me.
They're not playing for him, are they? That's the thing.
They're not playing for him, but crucially, he doesn't know his best 11, James. He doesn't know his best. So Spurs played Chelsea.
Yep. And
we got the team sheet through before the game. And we went, that's our best 11. That is our best 11. Can't pick a fault in that. We're in the pub going, that is surprising. That is our best 11. We went and got pumped 3-0.
Yeah.
So no one knows their best 11. There is no such thing.
The best 11 is the winning 11, isn't it?
Of course it is.
That's it. Fergie famously said, actually, you only need 8 players to play well to win a game. So
that's probably fair as well.
That's true, isn't it?
Well, can I just say, Spurs have gone from being bottom of the XG league in terms of chances created to second top.
Hello.
In 1 week. No, I mean, not overall, but, in that week.
Within that one game. Yeah. It's amazing, isn't it?
It's all fixed now. It's all fine.
Nuno, dead man walking. Not yet.
Give him an extension, if anything.
Yeah. Sign the contract. Red Vlad saw a YouTube comment the other week on Sky Sports channel that would irritate the shit out of Flav. It was under the highlights of United's 4-1 victory over Newcastle in the league. Ronaldo's first game. Sorry, it's a bit dated, but I had to share it because the comment generally read as follows. Ready, Flav? I honestly don't care that we lost. That was an incredible performance from Man United, and it was just awesome to see Ronaldo back in the Premier League.
Fuck off.
The combination...
Pathetic. You deserve nothing.
The combination of a football fan showering love on another club that said fans club just got smashed by, and the gag-inducing adoration for Ronaldo immediately made me imagine Flav reading it and turning gammon pink with rage.
It's not gammon. Would you want to see your wife getting railed by a massive, strong man and fucking her in a way that you could never even dream of, even in your wildest dreams, right? When you've had the worst fantasies and the most amazing fantasies, everything you want to do, you could never even conceive in your brain of how well that other man is fucking your wife. And then you're just going, well, fair play.
Yeah, Joe. Yeah,
I can do that. Just great to see. Good work.
They both just reached climax in incredible passionate intensity, and then of course there's a what feels like to the man watching this happening to his wife. He's thinking he feels like it's an awkward pause, but actually the two of them are just so exhausted from the lovemaking that's just taken place, and so the awkward husband just goes. I honestly don't care that you've just shagged my wife. That was just an incredible performance from you. I don't know what your name is.
That was
and it was just awesome to see you back inside my wife.
Yeah, and that was 4 orgasms. It sounded like 4 orgasms. Oh, fuck off. That is
great to see. It's just great to see high quality sex.
Great to see.
Yeah, disgusting. Disgusting. So what has Donny done to Ole? That's the question we asked last week. What have they done? Of course, the people have stepped up and we found out the truth of what Donny has done. Peter Kelly says, Donny hasn't done anything... sorry, not everyone got it. Not everyone got it.
Oh.
Not everyone got it. Just a joke, isn't it?
Literally talks about him putting a pencil up his arse.
Yeah, not everyone got it. Peter Kelly. Donny hasn't done anything when he's got the chance to merit getting in over McTominay and Fred.
Yeah, no, agreed.
Okay,
Peter, agreed.
Yeah, because he hasn't had a chance though, really, has he? Anyway, not important. Not really that's not the road we were. You've missed it. Forget it. Callum with 2 L's. I love the DVB versus Ollie bit. What has Donny done to Ollie? Let us know your thoughts. My thoughts. Donny perfectly recreated Ollie's Champions League winner and smirked, saying, "It's easy, isn't it?" At that point, Ollie knew he needed to get rid. Oh, yeah. So that could be an option. Easy, isn't it? Riddims by Dylan says, I heard Ollie won't play Donny because Donny de-kegged Ollie in the changing rooms and everyone laughed.
What's that? The keg? I've never heard that.
Just pulled his shorts down.
Oh, keg. Sorry. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I got like this one.
I was thinking much worse.
Right. Jordan Hodgson said, Donny called Ollie his favourite super sub on his first day. I love that. I don't say, oh, no, Ollie, honest, it's great to be here. You are my favourite super sub. And he's gone, oh, yeah.
Oh.
Favourite super sub, am I?
Yeah.
Well, you're going to become my favourite super sub every day, and I'm going to destroy your career. This is so bad, I laughed. Elliot Lacey. The reason Ollie doesn't play Van der Beek is because when they first met, Van der Beek got him mixed up with Dwight York. Turns out he was confused because they both have little ears. It's never been the same since.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Is it Dwight York?
Oh yeah, I love you and Coley had such a good partnership. Ollie's like, yeah, used to love the goals. Congratulations with Trinidad and Tobago. And Matthew Coyle, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can't be arsed writing Van der Beek's name on the team sheet, so he doesn't pick him.
He just starts to go,
yeah.
Big Tommy.
I mean, that seems silly. Anyway, so he doesn't want to give him a game, does he? Just not keen on him. It's odd, isn't it? Something's happened. Something's happened. If you get wind of it, let us know. Would you like to have a look at Twitter and see what's trending? I'm slightly nervous, if I'm honest.
Have a little look. Just see if
brief
there's nothing
look.
there. We'll just carry on. Maybe. Whoa, Basuma. Whoa.
Yeah, I think we
maybe avoid that one.
maybe avoid that. Stevie Bruce trending.
Steve Bruce is shitting himself.
Backed by the board.
Straight away.
6 contenders, right. He's not gone yet.
That's a par. That is a par. He hasn't even they've not even taken over. And he's already lost his job.
That's the thing. I honestly think day one they bring him in and he's like, oh hi guys. No. Is it alright if I speak first before we? I don't know what you want to talk about, but is it alright if I speak first? I've just got lots of ideas. I was thinking we could buy Mbappe. And they're like, Steve, yes, act. Yes, and he'd probably just take it when he'd be fine.
Mate, so that's a great shout because obviously there's a big issue between Real Madrid and PSG, right? They don't want to sell to each other. I'm pretty sure PSG would sell to Newcastle.
Oh, do you think Mbappe would go? Would he go?
St. James's Park.
Would he go?
They pay him £1 million a week. He'll go, wouldn't he?
Yeah. Imagine those negotiations. He goes. But he would though. They go.
Would he go? £1 million a week? Yeah, he'd go.
Yeah, but that would be it though, wouldn't it? It'd be like, we'll pay you $1 million a week, and they go, well, Real Madrid are going to pay me nearly $1 million, and it's a bigger club, so I'm gonna go there. They'll just go
refuse.
Yeah, but they would just go $2 million.
£2 million?
$2 million.
That's all right.
$2 million a week. Is that all right? That seems reasonable.
The only thing that's going to save us is if somehow financial fair play gets its act together and it becomes even just slightly effective. So no more slaps on the wrist, banned from European competition, that kind of thing. But will it ever? I don't know.
Jack Wilshere's also trending.
Jack Wilshere has retired from football.
Jack Wilshere wearing Arsenal training gear, watching the under-23s.
God, is that all it takes to trend these days? Wearing a jacket.
Also allowing free agent Jack Wilshere to train with them while he considers the next step in his career.
Give him a contract. You're not doing him a favour.
Class act, isn't he? Look, no, I'll get it in, boys. I'll get it in. Oh, hang on.
Ugh, get that off my screen. Ugh.
Okay, so there's your story there. Interesting. Good old Brucey. Imagine Brucey could just... That would just be such a great if they went, no, we like you, Steve. I like your soft voice. We're going to give you a chance here. We're going to give you a £500 million war chest and let you do your thing. And he's like, can I buy Alex Bruce? Yeah, go on then.
Can I buy?
I'll bring my son back. And can I bring in Fraser Campbell? Yeah, go on.
Yeah, then, if you want.
Go on then. No, that's fine. So that's what's trending at the moment currently. It is mad. You must be mad if you're a Newcastle fan right now. Not like you must be just going mad. Just be like, what?
Yeah, they're buzzing. They're absolutely buzzing.
Right, now it's going to get weird, guys. Because first of all, I'm not sure this is possible, but I appreciate you guys trying to make my life easier. Solanum lineanum. He's putting forward a new bit. If you guys in the comments can do it, then great. If you can't, then so be it. The new bit is imagine being the third person in the room when ... If you can think of one. So that's imagine being the third person in the room when. Finish that sentence. If you can think of a funny one, I'll read it out.
Okay.
I met once is a bit that seems to be doing quite well. This is, I know it's long, Flav, but it's mental.
I'm struck by the first sentence.
Right, so here we go. Yeah, you can almost close your eyes with this, Flav. Don't read it, just take it in.
All right.
So this is a bit that we have where people give us stories about when they met certain people once. I wonder if this is, part of me wonders if this is fake, but hang on, let's give it a bloody good go.
Okay.
Because it's very well written. Anyway, Mick says, I'm a 58-year-old man, 6'6", 18 stone, and fairly confident that I can look after myself. I left school at 14. I've had loads of jobs. I've been in every line of work you can think of. I've been a healthcare worker, doorman, amateur wrestler, and chef. I've worked in an animal shelter. I've been a waiter. I've been a tailor's apprentice and even fixed watch straps for a bit. My last job was a security guard at B&M, but I was let go because I tackled a smackhead too hard and his shoulder popped out. Anyway. I wanted to tell you about the only time that I have ever felt intimidated on a job. I was working for a garden company that happened to have a contract with a local church. We were told to make sure everything was kept neat and tidy. The front of the church was beautiful. The back of the church was a different story. At the back of the church, there was a small graveyard. There was a small, narrow path leading right through the middle of it to the main road at the other side. It was common knowledge that people used this path as a shortcut. It wasn't particularly frowned upon as everyone did it. So one night I was working at the back of the church, tidying up the gravestones, removing the dead flowers, nothing special. This particular time I was told to dig out a hole for the next day. There was going to be a funeral in the morning and it was my job to dig the hole and leave it neat for the next day. I've done this task plenty of times, as I said, I'm a big lad. I've done this job loads of times, nothing has ever bothered me. I have seen it all as a bouncer. I've seen every drunk dickhead in the country, and I know how to handle them all. But for some reason, this night was different. I was doing my bit, shovel in hand, digging my hole, and I heard somebody coming down the stairs at the back of the church. Now, normally I wouldn't care that somebody was walking through the church grounds. As mentioned before, it was a common shortcut. This time it was different. I could feel something that I could only describe as energy. I felt my muscles tense up, and the air around me suddenly felt starved of oxygen. I was scared now. My body wasn't communicating with my brain. I was putting all my focus into my back and shoulder muscles so I could spin round and see what was going on. I knew after I had done this motion, I wouldn't be able to do this move again, but I didn't care. I needed to see what was going on behind me. I spun my body around with all my might and was finally able to lock eyes on the person behind me. It was Sol Campbell.
What?
It was Sol Campbell.
Sol Campbell was in the graveyard mucking about.
He left me where I was, in a heap, petrified. I've never been able to share this story until this day. I hope my story encourages others to speak about their experiences with Sol Campbell. There you go.
He's 58 and he watches this podcast.
Yeah, that's all right. This is classics.
I need a picture of a spoon. I do.
Do you? You're going to need a picture of a spoon. Mick, if you can, this is like, if you could get to a graveyard, get to said graveyard, picture of you with a spoon, please.
You don't have to be no, you need to hold a picture up of Sol Campbell with a spoon and just your face. That'd be fine.
Tweet us if you're able to do that.
Yeah, but
Archie,
yeah, it does. There was quite a mature sort of sentence structures, like very few commas, very short, concise sentences.
good tale.
Quite Orwellian, actually.
It was. Yeah, it did feel like. I mean, and the church and all that kind of added to it. Didn't it?
Yeah.
Archie Keane. I once met Jason Kumas outside of Wetherspoons in Birmingham city centre. Giddy with excitement, I approached him and asked him for a quick picture. He glanced down towards my right hand and uttered, thumb ring. Not everyone can pull that off.
Very good.
And left.
We're
Very
actually
good.
going to see Sam
Oh.
tomorrow.
Oh,
Beautiful.
that's funny.
Fun
And then one to finish off is a bit sad. Matt Ellingworth. I once met modern-day Blackpool legend Stephen Craney at the Blossoms in Lytham. However, this was during the time that Blackpool fans were boycotting games, so I had fallen out of football a bit. I was also a very shy teenager. My mum called him over, but I didn't want a picture. He said, I don't want a picture with him. My mum apologised to him, and he looked downhearted, I think you mean, and replied, "Don't worry, I'm just happy to have been recognised." Then walked away.
That's so sad. That is sad.
Yeah, we are. We're seeing Sam tomorrow. Do you know what would be amazing if he just sort of, without realising, just sort of leaks a Samism out? It'd be great, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yes, it's exciting. So we're actually seeing. It goes back to One for the Weekend, and One for the Weekend podcast, because we're also seeing Adam on the ones and twos, and we're seeing Big Dog.
Big Dog. And the never seen, never will be seen, Craigie Danger is going to be there.
Craigie Danger,
unbelievable.
Yeah, so it's going to be quite nice.
Oh, yeah. So I will reveal all in the mailbag. We'll do a catch up. So yeah, if you are an OG, get yourself a pint, aka a Patreon membership. Samism, got a couple. Renewed RS. Speaking of Samisms, I sat downstairs watching Pointless on BBC One the other night with my mum on the opposite side of the room on the phone to my older sister. I wasn't trying to eavesdrop, but it was a literature round, and who reads books anyway? So I was only half paying attention to the show. From the sounds of it, Mum was trying to comfort my sister, who is under a lot of stress at the moment, looking for work. Suddenly I sprang to life as I recognised an answer. "Call me Ishmael," to be the opening words of Moby Dick. As I turned, smiling to my mum, as I couldn't let my victory go unseen, just as I was about to open my mouth, I heard her say to my sister, "Slowly, slowly catches the worm." I instantly burst out laughing, which started my dad laughing from the kitchen. He said, "It's early bird catches the worm, love," he said.
Nice.
Yeah. And another quick one. Connor TG, unbelievable Samism on a phone call the other day. Recruiter said, "I think you've got the job, but you don't want to count your lucky chickens yet." Lucky stars, I think. It was lucky stars.
Don't count your lucky stars. Don't count your chickens. Don't count your lucky chickens yet.
Get your Samisms in.
I do think about Joe Willock's. Like, thanks for welcoming me with open up. No, what was it?
Welcome arms.
Opening me with welcome arms.
They're the best ones. They're the ones that miff you. That's the best Samisms. One that miffs you.
Yeah.
Right, buffet talk. I mean, a real revelation in buffet talk this week. I really thought surely it was over, but no, it keeps dragging us back in. Yeah. I'm going to kick off with this one, actually. So Dominic White, right. He says, right, after 3 weeks, I've got to step in on this buffet chat. I'm a breakfast buffet chef in a golf hotel. Everyone's
the enemy. It's the enemy.
Oh, no, he's not. He's a facilitator.
Well, I suppose. But you're trying to beat him, aren't you?
Yeah, true. I get up at 5 a.m. every morning for service at 7 a.m. I cook between 300 and 500 eggs a morning.
That's a lot of eggs.
Now, the latest ball ache I had was a group of 8 golfers came in early and asked for an early service, so I obliged, of course, made a small selection of things, to which after 5 minutes my head server came back and said, "I need more fried eggs now!" They had eaten 20 fried eggs in 5 minutes. How the fuck is that even possible?
Dominic, I would
you know the game.
I'd absolutely love to have a chat with you about your experiences as a buffet chef. If you are a patron, and we could do that on the mailbag.
Yeah, that would be fascinating. This is unbelievable. Dave White. I know I'm late with the buffet chat, but I was reminded today of something you may enjoy. I was once in an all-you-can-eat Chinese in Birkenhead.
Found it.
Amazingly, that isn't the worst part of the story. I don't think I remember reading that the first time around. I went for a piss. I used a urinal and there were 3 toilet cubicles. There was a man in the centre with his kids flanking him in the remaining stalls. And he was actively encouraging... He was actively encouraging them to throw up so that they could go back and get back at the buffet on empty stomachs.
We could go back at the buffet. Take that buffet out.
What happened is my favourite anecdote of mine. The dad called his kids to come and marvel at what he had spewed forth. And with a level of pride I've never experienced in my life, he uttered the words, "Look, kids, gatto."
Look, it's gatto. That is wonderful. You can come again, Dave.
What a king. What a king.
You can come again.
Oh, dear. So good. And last bit of buffet chat. Really good comments this week. Tails. Following on from Louis' comment regarding buffet fines a couple of weeks ago, I've nearly fell foul of this cruel system before. In Battersea, there's a sushi cafe that is an order from the kitchen buffet, which carries a £7.50 per dish charge if a customer does not finish what they ordered fully. When we arrived at a table was arguing with the manager about being charged, so this should have acted as a warning to me. It did not. I took my missus about 3 years ago and it was early days, so there was a need to show the good lady what kind of a man is sat across from her. The general rules of said buffet are as follows. Maximum of 8 orders per person within 3 sittings. Sushi orders came as 10 pieces per portion. £7.50 per dish for uneaten food. We, of course, order the maximum amount we can on the first round. The food then arrives at the table. So I think that's 8 orders of 10, is that? Now, I'm a big lad who likes his grub. My missus is
80
not.
80 pieces of sushi.
I think he gives us the... yeah. My missus is not. Oh, here we go. I'm talking orders a double cheeseburger and small fries from McDonald's kind of lady.
Right.
Next thing I know, I'm faced with 160 pieces of sushi. Because they've both done 8 times 10. Yeah.
That's mad.
Of
How can you eat
course.
100...
Of course, she has ordered many things that I cannot stand, such as avocado, smoked salmon, cream cheese, etc. She eats 20 pieces of sushi and waves the white flag. No further food would be consumed by her. I'm then faced with a choice. I'm then faced with the choice of eating 140 pieces of sushi or pay the best part of 200 quid for a £50 meal. I start the epic climb and hit a raw fish looking wall at around 80 pieces, as stated, big lad. I start to do the maths and we're now looking at an additional £45 to the bill in penalties. No can do.
No can do.
The staff check up on me as I take a break and remind me of the rules before stated. I reassure them that there will be no problem when it comes to
table 6. Lads, you don't have to worry about me.
Yeah. I reassure them there will be no problem when it comes to table 6. I got up, went for a fag, and came back to the table, smashed the final 60 in a feat that she described as honestly disgusting.
Fuck.
I proudly paid my bill at normal price and left the restaurant shortly after. I was sick 20 to 30 minutes later, haven't eaten sushi since. I believe it's a cautionary tale as far as buffets go. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's an amazing story. I love that, right? But you've essentially, while you've paid, instead of going out to enjoying a meal, you've paid 50 quid for one of the worst experiences of your life.
Yeah, that's the problem, is how you feel going in and how you feel going out of a buffet are so different.
Yeah.
Like, you always walk out going, I'm not doing that again. I'm never doing that.
I was out for basically my missus works shift work, right? So she we had a day off yesterday, and we went to a long barrow. We went to look at a long barrow, which is like a Viking burial ground. That was quite interesting. It was a bit peckish. Yeah, all right. So we drove to this pub, and there's, where I live in Wiltshire, there's loads of lovely pubs selling lovely food and that. And we go in there, and they sell Yorkshire puddings as a wrap, and then inside the wrap is a roast dinner, and you eat it like a burrito.
Mashed potato.
Sorry, a burrito.
Sorry, I don't know why I said mashed potato.
Yeah, I don't know why you said mashed potato.
Do you know what? Sorry, I'm getting mixed up because oh my god, sorry. I'm getting mixed up because at Glastonbury they had these things that were like, it was like, imagine a plate, but the plate is a Yorkshire pudding. And in the plate was like sausages and mashed potato and stuff like that. And my mate Sean had 7 in a day once.
7.
But I am sorry. I don't know why that's why mashed potato came out of my head, because I was just thinking about that. Sorry.
So no, there wasn't mashed potato. There was roast potato. There was pork. There was applesauce. There was stuffing. It was madness. And it was just a 1 o'clock in the standard weekday. You don't have that. I had that on a Sunday afternoon when you can veg out. And we ate, and I had a veggie version, obviously. And we sat in the car afterwards, and we didn't speak for half an hour. It was so uncomfortable. It was like, what have I done?
Yeah.
When you get to the point where it's just disgusting. And that was one meal. When you go to a buffet, you're filling yourself up to the point of gluttony. Like, the buffets are the greatest insult to world hunger issues that there ever is.
Oh dear. Everyone's laughing in the chat, going, I've just had my sandwich moment.
Yeah.
Mashed potato.
Yeah. The problem is, you explained it.
Sorry. Yeah. Should have just left it.
You just went mashed potato.
Oh dear. Yeah, that's weird. I find myself when I'm like, oh, okay, I've got a lot here. I'm gonna need to, and I don't want to waste it. I just go quicker. I just try and go, right, come on, just get it in you. Really, you should just leave it. Anyway,
yeah.
So that's your buffet chat for this week. Very good. Well done. We finish off with a quick dalliance towards gym chat. No gym stories from me this week. But people seem to be putting forward just people they don't like in the gym, which is absolutely fine. I'm okay with that. Will Green says, "Have you ever heard the story of Dorito Man?" Didn't think so. At my gym, there is a man who's known as Dorito Man. He's called this because of his short stature and his rather big trap muscles (brackets the ones that join your neck and shoulders). Do you think Flav and I don't know about? Jesus Christ, we know where the traps are.
I go and sometimes have to teach them about muscles and that.
Like the biomes.
Well, no one knew about the biomes before I mentioned them. Now everyone knows.
Yeah. That gives him a rather odd triangular look, similar to Dorito. He walks around trying to talk to any newbie who will listen to him, giving them pointers. Ugh, go away. He also carries around a bag of chalk around with him, his Dorito dust, if you will, and spreads it over every weight at the gym. I no longer eat Doritos out of spite. Incredible. And Jack Ellis, this is great, took it into his own hands, but I didn't realise till I got to the end of the comment. Jack Ellis, there's one of those guys who always climbs topless at my gym. Once his shirt went missing whilst he was climbing, so he had to walk home topless. Haven't seen him with his shirt off since. Jack did that. Jack. I think Jack might have got involved in that. Yeah. Let's finish off with a bit of a nice thing to a message, really, for everyone to head off into the weekend and enjoy. Tyler Norton, James Flav, and esteemed slugs of all moistnesses. Or moistness, he says. A bit of Flame's advice gone right. Playing basketball with someone for months will make you fall in love, apparently. With the next season looming for the autumn, I wanted to ask her out without potentially ruining the expensive league we had just both registered for. After hanging out with the team a few times as a group and even managing to play tennis together on a few occasions, I suspected there might be something there. But the combo of her being 26 and me being 34, as well as a general lack of confidence, had me second-guessing myself. Then as we met for our first actual one-on-one non-athletic-based hangout, brackets a dinner and an American football watch, one soft voice rang out in my head. It was Flav, whispering, "Get the gravy." Fast forward a few weeks, and we are well on our way to a relationship, openly communicating and enjoying each other's company 3 to 4 evenings a week for various dates and sporting activities. Cheers for always having the consistent advice. Get the gravy. Lads, it can be done. Well done, you, Flav.
Make sure,
Changing lives. Changing lives.
Born to do it. Born to do it.
Mm.
It was, just as long as they want the gravy, they want to give you the gravy, you go and get it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Always ask for consent before getting the gravy. Not as catchy though, is it? It's implied. It's implied.
Yeah, just read the room. Read the room.
Yeah. Right. There you have it. Enjoyed that. Good pod. Good pod, Flav. Great work. Great comments, guys. Well done. You guys are crucial, of course. Keep getting stuck into the comment section. New bit ideas, we can do that. People that you've met, and any other reasons why Donny just can't get a game. Just cannot get a game, can he? Just can't do it. Yeah. And if you want to become a patron for the price of a pint, link is in the description. Get yourselves involved. Any final thoughts, Flav, before we go?
No.
Okay.
None. My camera's going to die.
Right. I've got no thoughts either. Thank you, patrons. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next week.
You.
Goodbye.
Cheers, boys.
Ta-da.